may be the last Tomato Tuesday. I'm not sure. I've been thinking maybe we could do something else. The garden, well, you'll see, the garden's looking rough, but I'm getting a ton of tomatoes. So you all know that we've had severe drought here all summer long. I'm in Western New Jersey. If it's your first time watching, hi, I'm Lauren. I come every Tuesday, have for probably, has it been 2 months? Maybe just a month and a half. I do a live show on Facebook called Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. And in that show, talk about, hey Swamp Bitch, Teresa, hey there everybody. Glad you could join me. On that show on Thursdays, which is at the same time, I about different varieties and go through like the history of it and the breeder, and we all kind of obsess over it. And usually a piece of paper and a pen so you can write things down so you can add it to your grow list. Tuesdays added maybe 6 weeks to 2 months ago. Thought it would be fun to just look at my garden on Tuesdays, and it has been a whole lot of fun. With the exception of YouTube Live, and my Wi-Fi isn't always all that great quality, and I apologize for that. I'm out in the boondocks a bit, but it has been fun, and I love sharing it with all of you. So the garden rough, I won't lie, and you will see. But hey, Susan, glad you're here. Thanks for being here. I can't complain because I'm getting a ton of tomatoes, and where my garden looks rough. Hey Heidi, glad you're here. I know so many around the world, maybe you have been struggling to get any tomatoes. So I'm not going to complain at all, but you'll see that the plants are really drying up. There's some disease out there, which is very typical of this time of year here in New Jersey. So the fruits are going to be cranking out for quite a while. Some plants are done already. Other plants still have a way to go. Hey Heidi. So once the foliage goes, it does affect flavor of the tomato. Thankfully, we haven't reviewed everything yet. There's some latecomers, some that we've just picked within the last couple days that finally we're going to get to taste. And thankfully on those plants, there's still plenty of foliage. Hi, Cynthia. Which means the taste should be true. But I noticed last year also as the season was ending, and even though I was getting tomatoes because of the lack of foliage, hi Satya, just didn't taste the same. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that also. It makes sense because, you know, if you think about photosynthesis and what the plants need in order to feed the tomatoes, they need, you know, those green leaves or, you know, what was I going to say? Variegated or whatever. They need leaves. They need leaves in order for the sun to hit it and then to put out tasting fruits. So where, you know, in a couple weeks, we will probably still have a lot of tomatoes coming in that maybe they don't taste bad. They just don't taste the same, but that's where crack comes in handy. In the tomato crack, it doesn't discriminate against any tomato. It makes every tomato taste like heaven. I'm actually making a batch right now. So this time of year, I'm crazier than other times of year. There's a lot of different things going on in my house, which I'll show you in a minute. You'll see there's just plates and bowls everywhere. Like I've got micros and they're sitting here either waiting to be reviewed or saved seed. Hi Yvette, glad you're here from France. Many I've reviewed already. So when I review things, so Rob and I review together at night. I've got a little notebook, we review together, and then I put it into words and I put it in the group, and then I put it on, I've started being much better at putting on Instagram. And then I take a lot of pictures because I find pictures help me a lot to choose my varieties. I like the outside, I like to see the inside, I like to show the weight, fruit. I like to give as much information as possible. For me, and I've shared this many times, the inside is almost more important than the outside. It could be great looking on the outside, but if it's got a lame looking inside, I'm not usually that interested. Although we tasted one last night that I will tell you, I was surprised at how good it was, and I'll show you when we get outside. And the inside looked kind of lame in this particular tomato, but it was outstanding. So I will show you. So my house is full of tomatoes, bowls of tomatoes, and I'll show you my counter in a minute. Those of you that have been here on previous Tuesdays or the last couple weeks, you know what my counters look like. So I have to keep track of like what's starting to go on the counter too, because if I miss something for a couple of days, it could start, you know, rotting. And so I can take those, save seeds from it, and then without the rotten part, I put that into my tomato crack. So let me show you what's going on in my house. So I've got like a seed saving station, got a crack making station, I've got my tomatoes out, and then I've got like where I take my pictures and do the brick score. It's a little insane, so I hope you appreciate my insanity. So let's turn things around here. Here we go. This is, oh gosh, I can hear myself downstairs, YouTube me on. That's where I normally work. This is where we have things to taste for tonight. So we've got, this one's called Anakitovaya, which is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? These are really unique. So Heidi Schmalz-Dolan, and if you guys saw my review of her brand new micro Pause Pride. Hi Francis, glad you're here. This morning in the group I put up a review of her brand new micro Pause Pride, which I had the privilege of reviewing, of being able to grow before it hit the market. It just counts Secret Seed Cartel. Oh, thank you, Yvette. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, more than you know. So I got to review it, and it's unbelievable. Probably the best micro I've ever had, because not only are the fruits delicious, the plant is so healthy, where a lot of my micros are, but these fruits taste like an indeterminate tomato. So the bricks, forget what the brick score was, maybe in the 4s. For a micro, for a cherry, it's a little bit low, but for an indeterminate, it's right on the, it's got intense, powerful flavor. So this is a really special micro. I will show you what the plant, I guess both plants are still alive. I'll show you what they look like. But anyway, getting back to Heidi. Heidi and I are friends. She's a breeder. She's also responsible for the Microdwarf Gigi's Glory Multiflora Micro, which she released last year, also available at Secret Seed Cartel. And I was looking for a particular Kazula in, I don't know, maybe the most one or something. Hey Linda, glad you're here. Thank you all for taking time of day to spend with me. I love these Tuesdays and Thursdays together with my tomato head friends. Anyway, so I was looking for Kazula 50, and now it's escaping me what the crosses are. I think it is Cherokee Purple. I know Cherokee Purple's in it. What's the other one? Maybe Black Zebra? Hey Richard from Rhode Island, glad you're here. Anyway, it's only in an F2 generation, and she happened to have the seeds. So she gave me seeds, and she said, you know, these are F2. What if we both can growing 2 plants, and we can, you know, grow it out and start stabilizing this thing together? How am I going to turn that down? I could be wrong on the crosses. If you look in the group under guides, we do have a guide for the Kazula crosses. I don't want to steer you wrong. I know Cherokee Purple's in it. I forget the other one. I think it might be Black Zebra. So anyway, I'm growing 2 plants. I think Heidi only got 1 plant, but this is what the 2 plants produced. Look at the same crosses, both F2. So Heidi's doing more of these little ones. I've got 1 plant that's doing these and 1 plant that's doing this. This is what I'm interested in. So we're tasting these tonight. The plants are incredibly prolific. Aren't they beautiful, Cynthia? I'm really, really hoping. I know they're so different, right, Heidi? This is why I love Jarsons too. I'm getting some really interesting mutations and it's thing, but same cross. I mean, to be able to have an F2 of a Kazula is really such a privilege, you know. But honestly, I'm really, really hoping this is a good one, because I will save seeds and continue to stabilize it and give those out. You cannot find pictures of these on the internet anywhere, this particular Kazula. In fact, I'm growing another Kazula. Gosh, which one is it? 68 maybe? You can't find, hey Chelsea, glad you're here. There's a couple I'm growing you can't find any photos on the internet for, which is really exciting that I get to grow it. And the first one to put pictures out on the internet, or maybe one of the first, unless somebody else is. So anyway, back to what we're tasting tonight. So we've got these two Kazulas. Be curious to hear what the taste difference is. This is Behind the Wheel, another one of Bill Yoder's Depeche Mode ones. Thank you to Linda Wicker Downing for giving me with these. Oh, this is one of the Kazulas that no pictures exist of. Kazula 26 version 1. You'll see this type of thing like \1, 2, 3, 4 Jarsons also. What that means is this. So Kazula 26 is a particular cross, right? And I'm forgetting which crosses. So Kazula, Anna Jankowski, who's a Polish breeder and responsible for all of this, she realized she grew it out and had different versions. So this is version 1. I don't know what 2, 3, 4, whatever, however many are. They're different from this. And so I'm going to show you actually a couple of the Jarsons. And I know it gets confusing with me talking about all these Jarsons. There's like a million different variants. And I've actually started naming them to make it less confusing for our group. So like I'm growing Jarson 1 tricolor. I've given seeds out to many of you. We grew it last year. The cross between of that is Great White and Kazula 25, I believe. And I got this variant, these huge, gorgeous, like blunt heart, no, not blunt heart, just flattened heart tricolors. The only ones we're regrowing this year, and only because I gave out so many seeds, I was running low. But we had our first one of the year 2 nights ago, and I was reminded of why it's so amazing. It's delicious. So I've got that, and now I've got a completely different Jarson one also. These seeds came from Grafsamina. I actually just posted a picture in the Jarson Grow Out group, Team Jarson. This is also Jarson 1. These came from Grafsamina. It's a heart that is striped with antho. Easy. So I'm calling that Jarson 1 striped heart. Because when we want to trade in the group, having those backs that, and like maybe you want Jen Joy's Jarson 16. Maybe you want Kina's Jarson 18 red green, which she named last year. I just think for the purposes of our group and trading and all that, it's easier to have names to them. So I don't know how that's going to go over in the actual tomato world as far as, you know, not having the numbers, but there's so many of us growing them out this year that I think naming them is just going to be smarter. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good approach? Because who's to say something doesn't grow out, you know, Jarson, I don't know, 18 and gets a completely different variant. They, you know, put a \7 or something on it. Maybe somebody else grows it and they put a \7 on it and the 7 is completely different. Does that make any sense? Probably not. I think it's a great idea, Cynthia. Good, thank you. I talked about it with Jen and they thought so too. This one is an Alephera variety. It's called Surprise. And I will tell you, I was surprised when I saw the color on it. Because I think in my spreadsheet, I had it as a red beefsteak. So I'm growing, unfortunately, there's a lot. Oh, good, Rowena, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I don't want to make things more confusing. I want to make them less confusing. And I think just tagging a name onto them will help keep them tidy and organized. I agree, Linda, thanks. Hi, Idaho Garden Girl. Easier to apologize than ask permission. Yeah, well, the thing is he eats them all before they were stable. So number with a name is a good idea. Agreed. I will keep the numbers. I'm not going to take the numbers off. So if it's like Jarson 1 or Jarson 18 \3, I'm going to keep that part on, but then, you know, just add a name to the end. So let's go over here. Here's what the current status is. Now I just recently emptied. Usually we're filling up one of those buckets every night. And last night when I harvested, I went out to do just a couple things, in air quotes, and still ended up filling up the bucket. So I've just put everything down. So what I'm doing is I go through, make sure we've reviewed everything. If not, keep an eye on it. When it's ready to go, I'll put it on that cutting board I just showed you. If it's starting to go, that's when, well, not it's starting to go. But if it's not something we're going to eat, it goes in tomato crack. And this recipe, I posted a video in the group. The name is a description of that particular variant. Yes, agreed, Rowena. That's my thought process on it anyway. So these are things we've either, like, we have leftovers from tastings that we just didn't finish, things that are maybe start to get a little funky. I'll put them in a bag with the name. Here's a great example. This is Jarson 26 variant 2, variant 1. Crazy, right? And the plant is loaded. So yeah, it's a bit confusing. So I make crack and I squeeze and I save seeds, which is what all this business is. And got a little strainer in here for saving seeds. Got my plates, which I reuse, coffee filters for the top, my rubber bands. This is actually where I take all my pictures. It's just my cooktop. It's got a beautiful black background. And then I weigh them, and then my refractometer that you guys know. One of those Jarson striped hearts just fell on the floor. I don't know how it rolled off this cutting board and it got damaged. So I've got it here, getting ready to save seeds from it. Did a little taste, I'll be honest, and somehow I went into Messenger. The taste is just as outstanding as Jarson tricolor. So excited to do the review of that. Up here I've got some micros over there. Look at this bowl times Macbeth. That is the variety that keeps on giving. Haley, I need to become a better gardener. I get fruit, but nothing compared to the amounts I see of everyone else. I have dreams of having a counter that's covered in tomatoes. Oh, Haley, you know what? We all have good and bad years. I say it all the time, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature, right? And every single year is a learning process. Every year. I've been doing this for 30 years. Missed a couple of years when I was having kids and when I've been too sick to do it. But for the most part, for 30 years, Rob and I have been doing this. And we've had years. I mean, we've never had a year like this because we've just extended how many. He added in a couple more beds. But the plants are diseased. We are getting fruits, but can't believe you have so many tomatoes. I attribute it to the mushroom compost is like steroids for tomatoes, and droughts are actually really good for tomatoes. I mean, in a way, it makes things a lot more flavorful, makes it harder to water. Hey, David Corey with Crop, glad you're here. Mrs. Tomato, that's me. So I think droughts are better than a lot of rain because a lot of rain brings some pretty serious disease, and lack of sun is obviously a problem. So I don't know. I know, Jen has had struggles. She's had the drought also, and then the deer ate all of her tomatoes. I'm not sure why I've been fortunate with the drought and she hasn't. Maybe her drought was worse. I'm not really sure. But you just never know. You just never know. Hey, Michael, I'm going to show your micro. I'm going to do it before. I did ocean forest and mushroom compost this year, and it did help. We had crazy rain and super high heat, which of course didn't help. Well, Haley, your start was great. You know how I feel about Fox Farm Ocean Forest. Hey, Anthony. Hope you're having a good day too. And you know how I feel about mushroom compost, but there's only so much we can do if you've got a lot of rain and high heat. Fruits can't set. Hey, Karen, glad you're here. Fruits can't set at high heat. So thankfully, most of mine set when we were in the uber high temperatures, and stalled for a while. And now, well, it's pretty hot today and yesterday, but not up in like the hundreds. So things are starting to set again, but at this point, it's probably too late for more for this season. But look, why do I need more, right? Let me show you before I forget. I'm going to show Michael's micro plant when we get outside, but I want to show you, I picked my first 2 ripe ones. Here it is, and oops, hang on. I don't know if Michael, you want me to say what the crosses are, but this is Michael's micro in a bowl called Michael's Micro. Aren't they beautiful? Hey, Malachite Jen, glad you're here. They've got this great little point at the end with antho at the top. Hey, Aaliyah. Glad you're here. Ooh, I know, they look great, right, Michael? Wait till you see the plant. Your plant, too, is looking really good and not diseased like a lot of my micro. And those little sucker hornworms, they're eating the leaves off of some particular micros of mine, little stinkers. And we're getting a lot of stink bugs, too. I don't know if you guys get those tomato stink bugs, but they're burrowing holes into some of my tips. But so I'll show you guys when we get outside. Michael, those look fun, right? So proud of him. He and I started our crossing of micros together. He's like a month ahead of me because I'd gone to Florida. And yes, you hate those stink bugs. I know, they're awful. Pretty zinnia, thank you. Those were outside. Rob accidentally knocked them over, so I put them in a vase. One of my only zinnias that was not eaten by bunnies. Michael's micros are beautiful. Yes, I know. I feel so privileged to be growing out those F2s. Got a little hand vacuum for the stink bugs and cucumber beetles. What a fabulous idea. I love it. All right, I could sit here at all the tomatoes, but let me show you some of my favorites again this week. So this is the Jarson table. Let me show you. So I just showed you, here's both of my Jarson ones actually. Aw. Thanks, Michael. I agree. I couldn't choose a better person to do it too. And guess who started breeding? Keena. Keena ordered some of the stuff, and she doing micros, but she's doing some other things, which is really exciting. All right, here's Jarson ones. Look at the size of these, first of all. Jar's very delicious. I agree. Look at these. And this is the other Jarson one, the Jarson one striped heart. Cross, isn't that unreal? Yes, Haley, these are huge. The plant is so productive and they're just gorgeous. It's one of the only ones we regrew, and excited we did. Not only to save seeds so I can give them away again, but just because it's delicious. Kristen says, here in the Carolinas where I'm at, we'll be getting heavy rains for days, so harvesting so much today and tomorrow. That's not 2 pounds. No, I don't, did I weigh it? Let's go check. Mine was that Mr. Tomato Head's trying to get a 2-pounder. I don't think it is, but we have a variety outside that my son Jake picked. He picked all these dirty tomatoes this year. It's called large membranous, and these things are massive. Nope, 1 pound, 12 ounces. There's a large membranous outside that may just be, we also got another Jarson, our first Jarson one that was, it was like 1 pound, 14 ounces. I swear that the varieties we grow that are supposed to be big, like last year we did Big Zac, this year we did Domingo, and they like guarantee the 2-pounder. That's not it. But the ones where we aren't intentionally growing big ones, like the Jarsons, are huge, absolutely huge. So, wow, that is still huge. Did you weigh that huge Jarson one? Yeah, just did. And there's more outside too. And you guys saw, if you remember, my Thursday show, where is it? These Jarson 22s. This is actually a smaller one. It's not ripe yet, but this was like a chocolate brown, if you saw the episode. These things are massive too. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you what the large membranous looks like. I'll show you the plant if we ever make it outside. Oh, this is the one that was just shy of 2 pounds. Look at this. These seeds came from Carolina's Paradise. I think she gave them to me as a free gift when we did a trade, or I ordered or something. There's one outside. The problem with the one outside, it looks massive and it could be a pounder, but the one outside has like a larger indentation, concave in the bottom, so it may prevent it from being a 2-pounder. This, I posted a review a week or so ago, one of our favorites of the year, and now I'm Bogatir Ilyusha. Picked this bad boy yesterday. Oh my God, is this a great tomato? It is unfreaking believable. I think we gave it a 9. We gave it a 9, but it may go up to a 9.5. And somebody in the group, Terry, I think, suggested I do an episode of all of my 9. And I was saying, I responded to her and said that's a really great idea. Like up until this year, I could have just listed them off the top of my head. Malachite box. What else? Berkeley pink tie-dye is a 9. Cherokee purple's a 9. There weren't all that many because we're super picky. And this year, so far, I'm amazed at how many we've given out. I mean, we're not giving them out left and right, but especially in the beginning of the season, it was like, oh my God. And I guess that just means we picked really well. CJ Smart, I'm harvesting my Roma tomatoes almost every day, and some were so overripe I had to make spaghetti sauce. Surprisingly, it was really good. So fresh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, is that the one you thought could be Berkeley tie-dye heart? Yes, Jen, this is the one. I don't know if it's Berkeley heart, but hang on, let me turn it around again. Alex from Lucky Garden seems to think that the Russians took it, renamed it, and it's Berkeley tie heart. There's no way of knowing if that's true or not. I do know that there are many vendors that sell it under Bogatyra Lyusha, and I do know it is outstanding. I got seeds from Lux Tomatoes. I know Tomato Eden has it also. If you Google it, you'll find it a million places. It's not ripe yet, so it got to be this really dark, gets to be this dark purple with these metallic green stripes, but I'm excited I picked that yesterday. Here's another one. I am saving for those for sure. See some comments coming in. Hi, Deb. Tomato crack going in the oven to roast low and slow overnight. Deb, I'm so glad you brought that. I was hoping you would come today because I've started doing that. It's perfect. So I make it during the day. I put it in the oven at night, low and slow overnight, and it does two things. One, it doesn't heat up the house all day long. When that's heated up all day long, it affects my tomatoes indoors. And it's great, you know, if you work or can't be around all day long, it's perfect to do it overnight. Yes, Deb, thank you. I don't know if I did it last year or not. I'm like, when you told me, it was a brand new idea. So I'm giving you credit. I think it is a brand new idea. So thank you for that. It's perfect. And then the house smells great when you wake up in the morning too. Hang on, I see more comments coming in. Kristen, my malachite box has been my incredible Hulk plant this year, and they're producing huge fruits. That's amazing. I'm so glad. My malachite box plant pooped out on me early in the season. It got like bacterial wilt, I believe, so I had to pull it. I did get some fruits, but I'm missing it. Next year, I'm growing 2 of them for sure. How do you sleep with the delicious smell? I wouldn't be able to leave the kitchen. Well, the house smells like that all the time right now, so I do get to sleep. It's like heavenly. You get to drift off to sleep with that smell. Am I missing anybody? No, I guess that's it. What else is great? That Bogatyra Lyusha. What else did I want to show you? I mean, I could go through them all. I've shared a few times about these dwarf ochre heart variety. It's so sweet and delicious. Finally starting to get some bananas noir. We've got a couple plants in grow bags and then one in the ground. The one in the ground's giving us big ones. It's not quite ripe yet, but we were getting all these dinky ones, like large cherries from the grow bag ones. Don't know what's up with that, but excited we're getting some big ones now. Definitely was late season for us this year, which is unusual. Finally got to pick one of these. This was a late one for us, bacon, lettuce, and this. Haven't tasted it yet. It's going to turn all red, maybe with some green shoulders. But I was surprised at how many varieties we still haven't tasted yet, and we're tasting at night. Patiently waiting for your bananas noir to ripen. Michael is a trooper. He's attempting to grow bananas noir, well, he is growing bananas noir in his home. And I told him that thing grows so tall that it's gonna like take over the house, circle around a few times, grow out the window and come back in, but he's doing it. I give you credit, Michael. Ilyusha Bogatyra on Tomato Eden, correct. Yes, that's Robin. My banana noir is 4 ounces and bricks of 7.2. Very delicious. I'm so happy to hear that. High bricks, awesome. And that's a good size too. Sometimes they're completely green when ripe with a little bush at the bottom. I know Lydia Stafford from Carolina's Paradise, hers were very red. So I like the ones that have more red in them. And if you slice it open on the inside, they're usually a pretty green with some red blush to them too. I just love it. Even if it wasn't our tomato, I would still love it. Michael says it's taken over my computer desk area. No doubt. That thing is a maniac. Have not tasted this one yet, I don't think. This is called Arrows of Cupid, which Deb gave me. Thank you, Deb. Deb, finally, the Indian reservation you gave me, the plant is completely pooped out, and we got a very early tomato, which I told you, and the rest were not ripening, but these are all Indian reservation. We tasted was all kind of scabbed up and stuff, but it was delicious. So I better put this on our cutting board. We need to taste this like ace. Let me show you another mutation Jarson I've got. So Jarson 4 is a cross between Malachite box and, oh shoot, I think it might be a Kazula. How do I not know this? No. Malachite box and a Polish variety, I believe, called Sakiuka Chudziak. And I ordered the seeds from Tomato Eden. If you look on Tomato Eden at Jarson 4, you will see a red beefsteak. This is Jarson 4. They are large plums, all of them. Plant is incredibly prolific, and this is delicious. So I'm going to have to name this Jarson 4 plum. I've never seen another picture of a Jarson 4 that's plum. When I looks good, it is, Michael. If I sliced it open, you would see it as a deep, deep red inside. It's gorgeous. And we loved the flavor. We've been tasting a lot of kind of tomatoes the last couple nights. Jake was here and we tasted like 8 varieties and they were all kind of meh. Love plum tomatoes. Me too, Linda. Good plum tomatoes, and that sure is one. Next year, I think we'll grow 2 plants. Really prolific too, although plant's starting to suffer. What was I going to say? I don't know. I haven't seen another Jarson 4 plum. Oh, I know. So when I was researching variety, and I knew the cross was this variety called Sakiuka Chudziak, forgive the pronunciation, couldn't find anything on it. When I Googled it, all I got to was listings for Jarson 4. And I forgot, I was talking to Malachite Jen, I think last night. I'm like, I emailed him, or he emailed me, like I sort of know him now, so I can ask him all these questions about the Jarsons. Total fangirl him, but anyway, so I translated Sakiuka Chudziak, and it loosely, I guess, translates to Chudziak's purse. So I'm guessing whatever that variety is has sort of a purse, a plum type shape to it. I'm super excited to have this variant. And I was also talking to Jen about that. And the frustrating thing is, I will save seeds and I will give them out happily. But will you get the plum next year? We don't know. Maybe, hopefully. But the more we grow out these Jarsons, the more we will TLC stabilize it, right? This I keep sharing about. This is Jarson 7, which I'm calling Jarson 7 Fire because it's got this beautiful, kind of hard to see in this light, kind of orange, pinky red to it, and the interior looks like fire. And then the other Jarson 7 is this. It's just amazing. Let me get to these comments. Kristen says, only Jarson variety I've grown is different from what it is supposed to be. It was supposed to be red and definitely a different outcome. Oh, I hope it's still tasty for you. That's my kind of tomato. I'll take my chance on the plum, says Linda. Absolutely. Oh, the fire one. I know. I don't think, I've posted a picture in the group. I haven't posted my official review. I tell you, it's a new catchphrase, TLC stabilize it. I love it. Absolutely, Jen. Let's do it. I guarantee you we're growing more Jarsons as a group than anywhere else. Can guarantee it. I haven't posted the official review of Jarson 7 Fire yet. It tastes very similar to the This other Jarson 7, the tricolor calling it, outstanding. Chelsea says, tried green apple tomato for the first time and love it. That's great news. Still taste this, Kristen. That's great. Awesome sauce. And then I keep showing my different Jarson 16s because I'm just kind of obsessed with it. This is Jarson 16. This is Jarson 16. And this is Jarson 16. How cool is that? Got seeds from different places. So I've got a green red, got a yellow color, and a purple. Super cool. The purple is really productive. The yellow one, not so much. Oh, look at this one. Look at that pretty bicolor on the top. Just gorgeous. And then these Jarson 13 ochre pears. I'm in love with these. That one's not completely ripe yet. Really productive plant. And they're all these great big pears. I guess the Jarson 4 is more of a pear shape? I guess so. Maybe I should call it Jarson 4 pear. Maybe I did already put that. I think I did. No. So the cross of the Jarson 13 ochre pear is persimmon and malachite box. Super cool. Already showed you the difference of the cazulas. I guess we should head outside, huh? I could talk about Jarsons all day long. I know everybody's oohing and ahhing over this Jarson 12 version 1. How does the flavor compare to the dwarf ochre heart you love? They're so different, Jen. Umami, I would say, in the Jarson 13 ochre pear. The ochre heart, very sweet, full flavor. I like the flavor on the ochre heart better. These are really good. Didn't blow me away. I got to shout out Cazula tomatoes. Every plant I'm growing has been resilient and productive, super tasty. Great, Kristen. Mine too, definitely. I only grew one last year, the 24. This year I'm growing several, and they're super productive, and the plants are doing really well despite a lot of other disease. Am I missing anything here? I feel like I wanted to show you guys so much. I already showed, tonight we're tasting behind the wheel. Actually, we should taste this one. This one looks better. Beautiful, one of Yoder's Depeche Mode ones. We're gonna switch you out, buddy. You look better. Oh, what was I gonna add on here that I said we needed to taste tonight? Something from that table, I'll figure it out. What haven't we tasted yet? Look at this one. We did taste this already. This is Marzipan Gold, which was really, really good. And I've shown this before, but look at the coloring on this one. How cool is that? Isn't that incredible? I got seeds from Tomate Charme. I have not shared a review of this yet, but I will tell you that Copper Pipe is really outstanding. You love that one, Linda. I know, isn't that a gorgeous fruit? Copper Pipe, I got seeds for this from Carolina's Paradise. It's starting to be really productive. The first fruit we had was much bigger, but they're generally this size. I just had one as a snack. Oh my God, is it good? For Pipe, I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. What else? Anything I showed bacon, lettuce, in this? What's the pink striped one? This one? This is Everything Counts in Large Amounts from the Depeche Mode line of Bill Yoder's. I thought it was okay. They are beautiful and very productive. He told me he wasn't all that thrilled with how it grew out this year, personally. It didn't knock my socks off. What'd you think, Linda? And this is his Strange Love. It looks so cool. I know it does. This is his Strange Love, which is just so striking. So we've tasted yours are just ripening. That's interesting. Usually you're ahead of me. So we've got Suffer Well, which we loved, Shake the Disease, which we loved. I mean, both of those are 9s. We tasted Precious, which is Linda and I both got dwarfs out of it. And Bill did say that it's got dwarf in it, and some are growing out as dwarfs. Darn, I grew Copper River instead of Copper Pipe this year. Hadn't tasted it yet. Well, I wanted to grow Copper River too. You'll have to let me know, but Copper Pipe's outstanding, Jen. You will love it. Precious was good. no great shakes. And then I really loved his Purple Rain and Raspberry Beret this year. My first were Shake the Disease, Precious, Behind the Wheel, and Strange Love. Yeah, we got Strange Love first, I think, or maybe Suffer Well. Or Suffer Well, the plant's winding down, and now all the fruits are coming out dinky, and it's killing me. Oh, also talking about this too, but Etoile Chocolate is really outstanding too. All right, we should go outside, right? I can't stop looking at my Jarsons. Just look at them. Oh, I wanted to show you Jarson 7. We could be here all day. I think it was a Jarson 7. One of the Jarsons, the tops are starting to come out with antho on it. You can see it a little on this one. Maybe it wasn't the 7. Maybe I didn't pick them. We'll see out in the garden. All right. Ready, Freddies? Let's go outside. I think it's pretty there. So if there's something you guys want to see that I skimmed over, or you know I'm growing that I haven't shown, just shout out. I would love to show you what you want to see. Now you will notice that there's a lot of disease going on out here. A lot of disease. Shake the disease, as Bill Yoder's plant would say. But still having good luck. This is a micro, I think I showed it last week. It's from Graf Samina. She calls it Adam and Eve. And it's actually 2 micros that she recommends growing together just for fun. I forget which one's which, but the red is one of them and the yellow is the other, and those are just starting to ripen, and they're super tasty too. Let's try it out. Are they? Yeah, a little crunchy, but very yummy. Okay. Here we've got 2 of the B times Macbeth. These things are growing to be monsters. The info sheet I'm giving out with seeds, I shared this last week, I think. I was saying that they get to be 15 inches high. That is now a lie. They're getting to be as high as 20 inches. Now, if you want to grow it indoors for micropalooza, you can absolutely do that. It just won't be this big. And that happens a lot with various microdwarfs. It will be accustomed to what you grow it in, like Michael with Banana Smar. But I am amazed at how these things keep producing and flowering. I mean, they've just been cranking things out for months. Lots and lots of fruit. And I planted a lot of sucker plants, gave a lot away because I was afraid of not getting enough seeds. But there is no worry there. I think I have enough seeds to furnish the world with B times Macbeth. This is Lil Red and Black, which is, the foliage is a bit scarce on it. I've got some ripe ones inside. It's more of a mini dwarf, so if you have seeds for this for micropalooza, you want to keep that in mind. It is, I forget the height on this one, but it's definitely more of a mini dwarf. It would be difficult to grow indoors unless you have high lighting. Let's look at Michael's microdwarf. Michael dwarf, we'll call it. This is Michael's. Very healthy. Lots of fruit, lots of big clusters. Michael, you did good. You did good. I have not tasted it yet. But so this is his F2. Way to go, Michael. And still producing lots of flowers. Really great size. I know you're growing a bunch more F2s, starting on F3s. I think Michael's so beautiful. I know, I agree. You did good, my friend. This is Chernichka or blueberry. I've got a better looking plant over on the deck railing. This one's called Bumblebee or Hummelchen. First time I'm growing that one. So you'll notice there's a lot of leaves off the bottom. I'm taking off the diseased leaves, but it's starting to be a losing battle. Also, the hornworms are just digging my micros this year. All right, I told you I'd show you Pa's Pride, and here's that beautiful plant, one of them. I grew, move this one out of the way. This is from Heidi Schmaltz Dolan, and I proclaimed it today to be my favorite micro. Now, there's no ripe fruits on it because I took them off to review and save seeds. But wow, the flavor on these is outstanding. Hopefully you saw the review in the group or on my Instagram. The fruits are these brick red, round, large fruits with green metallic striping. It has multiflora tendencies. Check this out. Uh-oh, I'm hearing thunder, gang. I did see a thunderstorm warning, but the sky sure didn't look like it. All right, we may have to end early depending on how things go. But anyway, this, oh yeah, I just got lightning alert. Okay, well, I'll try to be quick. It's still sunny at the moment. This is, what did I say it is? 16 inches, I think. Very nice, I know. So seeds are available now at Secret Seed Cartel. Highly recommend. You can absolutely grow this one inside. This is a 2-gallon grow bag. I started it off in a 1-gallon grow bag. I'll wait. Right now it's sunny. I at least want to show you some of my sickly garden down there. So let me show you the one in the green stock, because that will be more like what you can grow indoors. I think each green stalk pocket, I think, is about 1.5 gallons. Oops, I can't really show you because look, hornworm central, not a leaf on it, but you can see the height. Let me get this one out of the way. The height is 12 inches and it produced plenty of fruits. So you can absolutely grow that one inside. I highly recommend it. This is Veroni Glass. I've just picked some ripe ones. You can actually see underneath that one. It's starting to ripen, otherwise known as crow's eye. Look at Mighty Mini. They sure had a good time with the foliage on that one. Oh yeah. This is listed as a micro on Grafsamina. It's called Balcony Pink. Another one. Look, there's no leaves on it. But I will tell you, it's not a micro. It's absolutely a hanging basket. And it's delicious, really delicious for a hanging basket. Really pretty light pink fruits. Oh, thunder's rolling in. Yeah, I know, I have the blacklight flashlight. I'm so tired at the end of the night with all my seed saving and crack making, I can't really be bothered. We haven't gone out there once this year. Usually we go out once just for fun. I find a lot of balcony ones are hanging in reality. I agree, Michael. And I'm finding the ones from Grafsamina in particular. Oh, speaking of which, let me show you this bad boy. This one's called Chocoladnik. Chocoladnik, she has it listed as a micro. It was hanging, it was sitting rather on my deck railing planter, you may remember. This thing is a monster. It's not even a mini dwarf. It's a dwarf. Massive. I am still really excited for it. It's supposed to have these chocolate fruits, be one of the first micros with chocolate fruits, but you know, often things can get tall if they don't have adequate light or something because they're searching for light. That was not the case with this. So this is not a micro. Alert. Chocoladnik or Chocoladnik, not a micro. And this one I grew indoors. Might be a good cross to make it smaller. You got it. Absolutely. Jewel Beetle I grew indoors last winter. And it's really good from Bunny Hop Seeds. Oh, can you guys hear that? I'm gonna have to go in soon. Anyway, it was a hanging basket variety, so I just decided to grow it outside. Got a late start, which is why it's not hanging yet, but that's a green one, ripe micro. All right, let's get out of micro land here. I want to show you this though. So there's a lot of talk, I talk a lot about micros and about hybrids and stabilizing hybrids. And, you know, now that the micro world is kind of exploding, there's a lot of micros out there. And a lot of them came from hybrid varieties. There's places in Russia that put these hybrids out. Holland, they put out these hybrids mainly to sell as plants in big box stores, garden centers. But people like us, we want to grow them at home and we want to save seeds and we want to spread them. So what happens is a lot of the micros are actually hybrids that we save seeds from and we share not necessarily knowing they're hybrids, and so they're not growing out true to type. I find it exciting, but for some people it makes them crazy. So I want to show you an example of this. This is Plumbrella pink. Now, if anybody's grown a Plumbrella before, they are kind of large, what would you call it, Michael? Large elongated fruits with points. These are not. And this is funny plum rosy pink, kind of the same color. So these are growing out. I think they're F3s, but just be aware of that. If that makes a difference to you, you will want to check my spreadsheet. I try to be as accurate as possible. Oh, sky's not looking good. This is that large membranous I'm thinking could be a 2-pounder, but you see it's concave down there. Look at all of them. Isn't that insanity? Crazy. And then you can see we're still just loaded with fruit. This is that huge Jarson 22. Lots to come. But you can see the foliage is just, I'm losing it. Let me peek in here and show you over there. That's that Jarson 26, version 2, version 1. Look at them all. But you can also see all the dead foliage around it. So still got a lot to come. These are the Kazula 55s. Tomato garden or pumpkin patch. Do your plants look similar, Linda? Yeah, it happens here every year. It's nothing really new, but the drought didn't help. Look at sand penis. Oh my God. Those will be great in tomato crack or for, you know, salsa and stuff like that, though. It's not a bad tasting tomato at all. It just makes me kind of laugh. This one, I have a couple that are not true to type, which is always a bummer. But growing 150 plants, that's bound to happen. This was supposed to be Bel Marinar Verde, verde meaning green, and it's this, which is a bummer. So it'll be good in the crack, of course, but I can't save seeds. There's one that I've shown before. It's actually this one. It's supposed to be Rojo Verde Bicolore de Jarl. Got it from Tomato Eden. Its plant is so prolific of these huge, those aren't too huge, but the early ones are huge yellow bicolor hearts, and they're actually pretty tasty. This is the Jarson 13 Ochre Pear. You can see this plant is so prolific. But look at my Jarson bed. Not looking so good. These Jarsons are looking better, but not looking good, but still have a lot of tomatoes to come. This is the Jarson 1 tricolor. And you can see kind of like once you're getting up to the top, you're starting to get flowers coming in and all that, but it's a bit late for that. And then this is the Jarson 1 striped heart from Grafsamina. This is that Jarson 4 pear. How you grow, Ro? I'm just about to battle a thunderstorm. We're gonna have to go inside and end this soon. What else did I want to show you? This is Abraham Brown, which honestly was a bit of a disappointment. I do want to taste it again. The color is outstanding. Remember how I've said that I pick it first blush? I do pick it first blush, but when it gets to this period, it's just too much. Oh, I don't know that I've shared the review on this. This is a variety that I was given from a friend in Poland called Sgt. Pepper's White, which is I think I've talked about it before. It's a mutation of Sgt. Pepper's Yellow. And the seeds she gave me, she showed me pictures, hers were yellow. Now the Sgt. Pepper's line typically have antho on the top, which is why I've never grown it. So this was a mutation originally of Sgt. Pepper's Yellow that was supposed to be white. So she gave me the seeds labeled Sgt. Pepper's White, even though they were yellow. And mine are yellow also. These are not fully ripe. Let me tell you, this is an outstanding tomato. I had this for a snack earlier too, and I was telling Kina and Jen. So I'm going to name this Sgt. Pepper's Peach, because when you slice inside of it, it looks like a peach. It almost tastes like a peach. Really productive, really beautiful. So that'll be a TLC exclusive. Ugh, this has been happening a lot this year, growing in between the fence slats. Hate that. Finally getting some of this. Kina gave me these seeds for, it's called Fred SGBD. I'm forgetting offhand what color it's supposed to be now, but I picked my first one yesterday. And I think it's tricolor. This is Lavorgienne, the regular leaf version, which I don't think is quite as pretty as the potato leaf version I got. That plant is done. But aren't these Sgt. Pepper's peach absolutely gorgeous? I want to run out here and pick some stuff before the rain comes in, but I don't know. I'd rather talk to you guys. But look, you can see, look at the bed. Not looking good. What's that stand for? I wish I could remember, Linda. I had it listed. It's like a town in France, I think. I had it listed in one of my 2024 grow list videos, and I was able to share it. You know, I'll find out after the show and I'll put it in the show notes, but from what I remember, it's like the name of a town or something in France. So this was Chef Gaiguetta, which is ending. I got a lot of fruits from that. How's yours doing, Deb? Very productive. We've just been really very fortunate and very productive with just about everything. Only a few varieties have we not had good luck with. This is Baba Rum, which was pretty good, and boy, is that productive. I can't keep up with it. It seems like the ones we don't like all that much are the ones that are most productive. Purple Light from Bounty Hunter. Boy, did we get a lot of stuff. And it wasn't a bad tomato. This is Purple Light. It just wasn't great and so productive. Here's Alafirov Surprise. Kenai Mondo Green. That was really productive. Yeah, they are pretty good, Deb, Chef Gaiguetta. I agree. I wish they weren't quite as crunchy, but they're good. This is E.T., which we tasted. It was pretty good. This is that Icky. Hey, Urban White Buffalo Farm. Twice in a week. Glad you're here. This is that Icky Seven Rivers tricolor. Now this one doesn't have antho at the top. But when I got it, oh no, wait, is that from this? No, it's not. That's this one. That is is that multicolor? Yeah, it's on plant one. Oh, good. Multicolor is good. Multicolor from Bounty Hunter Seeds is very, very good. It's this one that I hated. Seven Rivers tricolor. I couldn't stand it because it just has that antho taste, and I can't stand the antho taste. But multicolor is a winner. Hey, Sandra B. Thunderstorm's rolling in, so I'm not going to be able to stay on too much longer. This is one that is not true to type, unfortunately. It's supposed to be Turtle Purple from Phil Seneca, and I'm getting these red. They're red. I think they're an accidental cross. I've been talking to Mary Dawn Long Rivas about it because we both want to grow Turtle Purple badly. Saw Thomas Seidel from Tomatenflüsterer in Austria. He reviewed it the other day, and his fruits look just like mine in round. They're not a beefsteak, but his are more purple. So I'm thinking it's an accidental cross. The problem is they're really tasty. They split like crazy, but they're super duper tasty. So I may just save seeds for this and call it Turtle Red. This is another of Phil Seneca's called Hatho. Very tasty green. Gosh, look at all these tomatoes. Usually I'm so good at keeping up. Hey, Kina. So good at keeping up with picking when at first blush, but at this point, I just can't. And where do I put it? I mean, some of these plants, I don't even know what goes to what. This fell down. Oh, this is one we haven't tasted yet. Oh, and they're ripening. Yay, finally. Pommiati corneva. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Pommiati corneva, and I see one blushing there and one blushing there. Yay. This plant, Nostrano Grasso, was so tall, didn't produce one fruit. Waste of space. And then under here, down under there, is a dead Nano's Meatball Dwarf. Oops, what did I do now? Okay. My Nano's Meatball did great. I grew one here in this bed, and then I've got a sucker plant going. Hey, Kathy, I'm glad you're here. There's thunder coming in, so I'm going to have to run inside soon. but I wanted to show you guys kind of my sickly bed. So I did one in this bed, that guy, and one in a grow bag, and they were really determinants for me. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same. Now, Secret Seed Cartel has said in their description that they released it a bit early, and the chances are it may not be stable for, I think they said 3 generations, so, which means it might be an F4 or something. I didn't care. Those were good. So, but I am growing another sucker plant, and my plants didn't get any taller than, the tallest one was 30 inches. The other one in the grow bag was 24. I'm going to attempt to grow it inside for Micropalooza, because if I can have those fruits, they're delicious. Just about as close as you can get to a perfect 10, hands down, for sure. If I can grow that indoors, that would be groovy. That would be awesome sauce. Let's see, what else can I run around to show you before I get rained out here? This was a productive one. Dana's Dusky Rose. Plant is ending now. It was pretty good. But wow, production-wise, oh, I see it's not dying, it's still coming. Production-wise, it was insane. Just finally picked my first Ed's Millennium. These are kind of weird-looking ones, but they were red beefsteaks. Look at, they're almost like a white creamy. I noticed that yesterday. Oh, and they're soft. What does that go to? Is that this plant? Sometimes you have to like go through the maze and make sure. Yeah, it's from Ed's Millennium. How weird. I didn't realize yesterday they were soft. The ones I picked inside are these great big red beefsteaks. I'm gonna pick one just for the heck of it, let it ripen up. They're really pretty. Wonder what's up with that. Come on. All right, there we go. Typically I use scissors to harvest because I'm always afraid of pulling something down. And there's the Dead Indian Reservation of Deads. Glad I got some fruits though. This is marzipan gold. You can see things are looking, ooh, can you guys hear that? This, if you watched my show with Jen last week, I talked about this variety called Big Tulip Festival Green that I shared a video of them like slicing like an apple. That was this plant. Oh, I got one little one left here. Really interesting variety. That's an experimental variety. Got Banyel Bufar, Longkeeper. Things are just a hot mess. Bacon lettuce in this. And of course, like the ones that aren't true to type are super productive. Tons of Kazulas coming. Indian Reservation was awesome. Totally awesome. The first one we got, I was sharing inside, was, gosh, a couple weeks ago, and it was all scabbed. It didn't look great. I didn't bother taking pictures because I was going to wait for better looking ones to come. But we tasted it. It was really, really good. Really good. So tonight we're going to taste another one. You can hear the thunder, I know. Lloyd and Liz. Well, let me tell you, Lloyd is an imposter, which is a real bummer. Here they are. Lloyd's supposed to be a red beefsteak. We get once in a while a beefsteak, but most of them are this. So I can't save seeds or anything. And it's just kind of okay. So another one disappointing. This is Liz. And honestly, I need to give Liz another try because it didn't knock our socks off. But we're starting to realize that the ones we taste earlier in the season they don't always taste, sometimes they taste better as the season goes on. Now Liz, we didn't have early in the season. We just started getting ripe ones a week or so ago. So we'll give it another try, but it's supposed to be great, so I want to give it another try. Talking about, all right, I think I'm back. But most of them look like this. So where did you get your seeds? I know, it is time to get inside. Okay, all right. Over there, in-ground bed, looking kind of the same, maybe even a little better than the other beds. All right, I shared inside, there's one variety we tasted last night. No Fred's SGDB. Not sure what you're saying about Fred's SGDB. But, yeah, just picked my first one yesterday. I shared that there's a variety we had last night that when I got the seeds, pictures looked a bit different than what it actually came out to be. The crosses, I was under the impression that it was something different. It's a variety that Kina told me about called Malachite Elf, and they turned out to be very similar looking to Jarson 1 striped heart, actually. Let me show you. So the cross, it turns out, are, isn't that stunning? VT16 and I forget, and with all the antho on it, I was convinced I wasn't going to like it. All right, I'm going back inside. We'll finish talking inside. Uh-oh, is there no sound? Everybody else, can you hear me? I have sound, okay. Are those large beefsteaks? Fred SGBD, sorry. Yes, they are large beefsteaks. I can show you the one I picked. All right, we're back inside now. I'm safe and sound. Anyway, that Malachite Elf did not have any antho flavor, and it was amazing. Really, really good. Refreshing. I was convinced that antho at the top, it was going to be yucky, but it was delicious. Kina, what are the crosses again? It's Marsha's Starfighter VT16. What was the other one? I'm forgetting. Let me see if I can show you Fred's SGBD. It was just barely blushing, but I wanted to make sure I got one at least so we could review it. Kina gave me seeds for that. All right, where did I put it is the question. Surprisingly, I can usually remember where I put things. This is another one we haven't tried yet, Gordo de Patones. Got another one from Spain, Liator, something that we haven't picked yet. Here's Fred's SGBD. Totally not ripe yet, but it was blushing enough where I wanted to steal it. So yeah, they are large beefsteaks. These are the ones I was telling you guys that were supposed to be Rojo Verde Bicolore de Jarl, and which is, I think it was like a green when ripe striped variety. Clearly, these are not that, but they're really yummy, really yummy. Usually when things are an accidental cross, they're not big like that. Accidental crosses, you tend to get things like what the Lloyd Fry looked like. I don't know if this is a different, I did talk to Tatiana at Tomato Eden about it. Hope that one's going, gotta get that in seed saving. She wasn't quite sure. I mean, she doesn't usually, she would find it hard to believe it was a mistake, but it's just so different from what it's supposed to be. So I don't know what it is, but they're so beautiful and perfect and very tasty. Anything else you guys want to see? We're at 69 minutes, so we can shut this down. Any other varieties you want me to show? I know they are huge, aren't they? We're getting a lot of big tomatoes. Is the general consensus mango is gross? I picked my first one. It's not fully ripe yet. For me, it was. Yeah, for me, it was just, I wouldn't say gross, just not great. Very disappointing. But my plant was also diseased, so I am, deferring to those of you whose plants weren't diseased. Can we get an update? Oh, on my micros, Sandra? Yeah, I'd have to go outside to show them, and I probably shouldn't. But they're getting big. They're really, maybe I can run out for a minute. It's not raining yet. If I die, don't mind me. If I get struck by lightning. No, that's okay. I want to show. Mine were kind of blah, just beautiful big tomato, but not much taste. Bow mango, yeah, same. I picked mine. They did have leaves on it, so, it would be one thing if it didn't have foliage on it, and then I would understand why it wouldn't have, oh, nope, it's raining. Next week. Just started. Gosh, we went like 6 without rain, and now the last couple of days we're getting rain, but we need it. But then disease comes in even more. That's all right. Hey, Terry, glad you're here. We're just kind of ending things now. But yeah, I guess the general consensus is bow mango is not what it's all cracked up to be. Malachite Jen, Really liked her, oops, that one's going to Krimsky Malahite, which was one of my most anticipated of the year. This is a cross of black Krim and Malachite box, two of my favorites. And I need to taste it again, but I thought it was really kind of lackluster. But she loved it. We tend to have the same taste, so I'm going to taste it again. This is another super productive one. Alifirov's Secret. Oh my goodness, that is cranking out all these striped ones and more. That is a bummer, Rebo Mango, I agree. What surprised you the most this year? Huh. Gosh, good question. Well, that Malachite Elf, for one, is a really nice surprise. The Dwarf Ochre Heart was a really good surprise. Surprising or not, the Jarsons have blown my socks off. We've had a few that are just kind of nothing bad, but some of them, oh my God, they're just unbelievable, which isn't surprising because he uses great tomatoes. You can hear the rain. I think that was the air that came on. It's a pretty loud air conditioning system Rob put in. But yeah, the Jarsons are amazing. One's better than the next. They're beautiful, they're huge, productive, and delicious. Absolutely delicious. I would say one surprise is while I liked Jarson 16, which is the cross of Malachite and Cherokee Purple, it's not as loud flavored as some of the other Jarsons, like the Jarson 7s or the Jarson, this one's been a surprise. I keep showing it, but the Jarson 22, which will be purple or purplish brown when it ripens. No, I'm sorry. Is that Jarson 22? No, we haven't had the Jarson 22 yet. It's the Jarson 23. These are massive, and the bricks was like 8 something and really delicious. So that's a really nice surprise. I forget what the crosses are on that. Look at all the gorgeous color. I know, right? I could just stare at these all day, and I kind of do. The lights. Love your fireplace. Beautiful table of goodies. Thank you. Thank you. We love our fireplace too. You know what else was crazy productive? Jarson 5. I'm growing 2 of them, and they're actually both the same. Jarson 5 from Tomato Eden and Jarson 5 from Lux Tomatoes. Those are the only different ones that I'm growing this year that are really basically the same. And the plant's incredibly productive. Really, really productive. Look at this Jarson 10. I mean, I just can't get over the colors. So yeah, I guess that's it. Copper River, again, Copper River's fantastic. The Chef Gaigetta, really productive. And this was a really nice surprise. Bogatir Ilyusha, really nice surprise, delicious. Shake the Disease, Suffer Well, Nano's Meatball Dwarf. Those were like 9.5s out of 10, really me. So I guess that's it for today, gang. I'll see you on Thursday for Lauren's Tomato Sauce. Thanks for tuning in on my garden tour. We'll see if I do it again next week. I'll have to see, things are looking bad out there, but obviously there's still going to be tomatoes to show next week. So we'll play it by ear. I can always show micros, and thank you, Sandra. I will. You all stay safe too, wherever you are, if you're getting thunder. Thank you for the live stream garden tour. You're welcome. It actually turns out to be like live stream tour of my countertop and then a little garden. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Peace, love, gratitude, and go grow to me. Bye, gang.